When Vanessa walked into divorce court without a lawyer, her husband Richard couldn't contain his laughter. He had the attorneys, the hidden assets, and the confidence of a man who'd never been challenged. But when Vanessa's mother stepped through that courtroom door, Richard's smug smile vanished, and everything he thought he'd already won began to crumble. This is the story of a woman who refused to be underestimated, a hidden bank account that changed everything, and the quiet strength that doesn't need a law degree to demand justice. Welcome back to the channel, beautiful souls. Before we begin, I want to thank you for being here. Your time matters, and choosing to spend it with stories that reflect real courage means the world. If this is your first time here, welcome home. If you've been with us, thank you for coming back. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment letting me know where in the world you're watching from. It helps this community grow, and it reminds us all that we're never alone in what we face. Now let's dive into a story about a courtroom, a laugh that died too soon, and a mother who didn't need to say much to change everything. The courtroom door clicked shut behind her, and Vanessa felt the silence shift. She'd arrived alone. No briefcase, no legal pad, no counsel table occupied on her side. Just her, the folder in her hand, and the empty chair where a lawyer should have been sitting. Across the aisle, Richard leaned back. His attorney, sharp suit, leather portfolio already open, was arranging documents into neat stacks. Richard's mouth curved. Not quite a smile. Something smaller, sharper. "You're serious?" his voice carried. "You actually came without one?" The clerk looked up from her desk, then back down. Vanessa stayed standing. The folder felt heavier than it should. "I don't need one," she said. Richard laughed. Not loud, just enough to fill the space between them. His attorney glanced sideways at him, then returned to the papers. "This is a divorce proceeding, Vanessa, not a PTA meeting." She set the folder on the table. Her hand steadied before she let go. "I'm aware." The clerk shifted in her seat. The judge hadn't entered yet. The bailiff stood near the side door, hands behind his back, waiting. Richard's laugh came again, softer this time, almost private. He leaned toward his attorney and said something Vanessa couldn't hear. The attorney's expression didn't change, but his pen stopped moving. Vanessa pulled out the chair. It scraped against the floor. Behind her, the main door opened. She didn't turn. Footsteps, heeled, deliberate. They stopped just inside the threshold. Richard's laughter cut off. His attorney looked up. Vanessa turned. Her mother stood in the doorway. Tailored gray suit, no bag, no visible documents, just car keys in one hand and her phone in the other, screen dark. She didn't smile. Richard's face went blank. His attorney set down his pen. The clerk straightened. Vanessa's mother walked forward, heels clicking evenly across the tile, and stopped beside Vanessa's table. She didn't sit. She looked at Richard, then at his attorney. "Good morning," she said. Her voice was calm, flat, not warm. Richard opened his mouth, then closed it. His attorney cleared his throat. "I'm sorry. Are you representing Mrs. Jediar Hale today?" Vanessa's mother set her keys on the table. "I'm observing." The attorney's eyes flicked to Richard, then back. "I wasn't aware of any additional parties." "I'm not a party. I'm family." The clerk stood. "I'll let the judge know everyone's arrived." She disappeared through the side door. Richard's hand moved to his tie, adjusting it even though it was already straight. Vanessa's mother pulled out the chair beside Vanessa and sat. She crossed her legs, folded her hands on the table. Richard's attorney leaned in close and whispered something. Richard shook his head once. His jaw tightened. The bailiff stepped forward. "All rise." 3 months earlier, Vanessa had opened the bedroom door and found Richard's suitcase already packed. He hadn't said he was leaving. He'd just started moving things to the hallway. "What are you doing?" she'd asked. He didn't stop folding. "What does it look like?" She stood in the doorway, watched him zip the suitcase shut, test the weight, set it upright. "We can talk about this," she said. "There's nothing to talk about." He walked past her, didn't look back. The front door had closed 15 minutes later. She'd called him twice that night. Both calls went to voicemail. The next morning, his lawyer's letter arrived. Dissolution of marriage, division of assets, custody arrangement pending. She read it 3 times. Then she called her mother. Judge Brennan entered the courtroom with a file already open in his hands. He sat, adjusted his glasses, and scanned the first page. "Hale versus Hale," he said. "Dissolution of marriage, contested division of assets, custody dispute." He looked up. "Mr. Hale, you're represented by Mr. Cortland?" Richard's attorney stood. "Yes, Your Honor." "And Mrs. Hale?" The judge's eyes moved to Vanessa's table. Vanessa stood. "I'm representing myself, Your Honor." The judge's eyebrows lifted slightly. He glanced at her mother, then back at Vanessa. "You're proceeding pro se?" "Yes." Richard's lawyer stood again. "Your Honor, if I may, given the complexity of the assets involved and the custody matter, the court may wish to advise Mrs. Hale on the risks of self-representation." Judge Brennan looked at Vanessa. "Mrs. Hale, do you understand that you'll be held to the same standards as an attorney?" "I do." "You understand you're waiving your right to representation?" "Yes." The judge paused, then nodded. "Very well. Mr. Cortland, your opening statement." Richard's attorney stood, buttoned his jacket, and stepped forward. "Your Honor, this is a straightforward matter. Mr. Hale initiated this divorce after 12 years of marriage due to irreconcilable differences. He's seeking a fair division of assets, including the marital home, joint savings, and retirement accounts. He's also requesting primary custody of the couple's 9-year-old daughter with supervised visitation for Mrs. Hale. Vanessa's hand tightened on the edge of the folder. "Mr. Hale has been the primary financial provider throughout the marriage," the attorney continued. "He's maintained steady employment, contributed to all major household expenses, and ensured financial stability for the family. Mrs. Hale, while employed part-time, has not contributed equally to the household income. Additionally, there are concerns regarding her ability to provide a stable environment for the child." Vanessa's mother didn't move. The attorney returned to his seat. Judge Brennan looked at Vanessa. "Mrs. Hale, your opening statement." Vanessa stood. The folder remained closed on the table. "Your Honor, I'm not contesting the divorce. I'm contesting the characterization of our marriage and the proposed custody arrangement." Her voice didn't waver. "I've worked part-time because Mr. Hale insisted I be available for our daughter. I've managed the household, the school schedules, the medical appointments. I've been present. And I'll demonstrate that I'm fully capable of providing a stable home." She sat. Richard leaned toward his attorney and whispered something. The attorney shook his head slightly. Judge Brennan made a note. "Mr. Cortland, call your first witness." "We call Mr. Richard Hale to the stand." Richard stood. He walked to the witness box, raised his right hand, and swore in. His attorney approached. "Mr. Hale, how long were you married to the respondent?" 12 years. "And during that time, who was the primary breadwinner?" "I was. I'm a senior project manager at Dalton and Harris. I've been there for 14 years. "What was your annual income last year?" $210,000. "And Mrs. Hale's income?" "She works part-time at a marketing firm. Maybe 30,000. Vanessa's mother's fingers tapped once against the table, then stopped. Did you ever ask Mrs. Hale to reduce her work hours? The attorney asked. Richard hesitated. We agreed it made sense for her to be more available for our daughter. But did you specifically request it? We discussed it. I didn't force her. Did you contribute to household management, school pickups, medical appointments? When I could. My job requires long hours, travel. She had more flexibility. Did she ever express dissatisfaction with this arrangement? Richard's jaw shifted. She complained sometimes, but she never suggested changing it. The attorney nodded. No further questions. Judge Brennan looked at Vanessa. Cross-examination. Vanessa stood. She didn't move toward the witness stand. Mr. Hale, when you say I complained, what did I complain about? Richard's eyes narrowed. You said you felt like you were doing everything alone. Did you offer to change your schedule? My schedule isn't flexible. Did you try? Silence. Mr. Hale, did you try to adjust your work schedule when I asked for help? I told you I couldn't. That's not what I asked. Richard's hand gripped the armrest. No, I didn't try. Vanessa paused. Let the silence sit. When did you decide to leave? His attorney stood. Objection, relevance. Judge Brennan looked at Vanessa. Mrs. Hale? It's relevant to the timeline of his decision-making and his claims about providing stability. Overruled. Answer the question, Mr. Hale. Richard exhaled. I'd been thinking about it for a few months. How many months? Maybe 6. Did you tell me you were considering divorce during those 6 months? No. Did you suggest counseling? No. Did you tell me you were unhappy? His face reddened. You should have known. Vanessa's mother shifted in her seat. The movement was small, but Richard's eyes flicked toward her. No further questions, Vanessa said. She sat. Richard returned to his table. His attorney leaned in, spoke quietly. Richard nodded, but his shoulders stayed tense. Judge Brennan checked his notes. Mr. Cortland, next witness. We'd like to call Dr. Patricia Lynn, the court-appointed child psychologist who evaluated both parties. A woman in a navy blazer stood from the gallery and walked to the witness stand. She swore in and sat. Richard's attorney approached. Dr. Lynn. You conducted interviews with both Mr. and Mrs. Hale as well as their daughter, Emma. What were your findings? Dr. Lynn opened a folder. Both parents demonstrated genuine affection for the child. However, Emma expressed a stronger daily attachment to her mother. She mentioned her mother being present for school events, bedtime, homework help. She mentioned her father being at work or traveling. Richard's attorney frowned. Did Emma express any concerns about her mother's care? No. Any concerns about stability? No. Did she express any preference for custody? Dr. Lynn hesitated. She said she wanted to live with her mother, but she also wanted to see her father regularly. The attorney paused. No further questions. Vanessa stood. Dr. Lynn. Did Emma mention any recent changes in her father's availability? She said he'd been working more in the last few months, that he missed her last 2 soccer games. Did she mention feeling sad about that? Yes. No further questions. Dr. Lynn stepped down. Judge Brennan leaned back. Mr. Cortland, do you have additional witnesses? No, Your Honor. We'd like to submit financial records showing Mr. Hale's contributions to the household. Submitted. Mrs. Hale, do you have witnesses? Vanessa glanced at her mother. Her mother's face remained neutral. Not at this time, Your Honor. The judge frowned. You're not calling any witnesses? I'm reserving that option. Richard's attorney stood. Your Honor, if Mrs. Hale has no witnesses and no legal counsel, we'd like to move for a preliminary ruling on custody based on the financial records and Dr. Lynn's testimony. Judge Brennan looked at Vanessa. Mrs. Hale? Vanessa's pulse thudded in her ears. She kept her hands flat on the table. I'd like to submit evidence, Your Honor. What evidence? She opened the folder, pulled out a single sheet of paper, walked it to the clerk. Bank statements from an account Mr. Hale didn't disclose in his financial filings. Richard's face went pale. His attorney stood quickly. Objection. Those statements weren't submitted in discovery. They were submitted yesterday, Vanessa said. I followed the proper channels. Judge Brennan took the paper from the clerk. He scanned it. His expression tightened. Mr. Cortland, did your client disclose all financial accounts? The attorney looked at Richard. Richard's mouth opened, but nothing came out. Mr. Hale, the judge said, answer the question. Richard's voice came out rough. I forgot about that account. You forgot about an account holding $60,000? Silence. Judge Brennan set the paper down. We're taking a 15-minute recess. Mr. Hale, I suggest you speak with your attorney. He stood. Everyone rose. The judge disappeared into his chambers. Vanessa walked into the hallway. Her mother followed. They stopped near a window overlooking the parking lot. You okay? Her mother asked. Vanessa nodded. Her hands were shaking slightly. She pressed them against her sides. He didn't think I'd find it, she said. Her mother's mouth curved just barely. He didn't think you'd look. Vanessa exhaled. Behind them, the courtroom door opened. Richard stepped out. His attorney beside him. They walked to the far end of the hall. Richard's attorney spoke in a low, sharp tone. Richard's face stayed blank. Vanessa's mother watched them. He's going to try to settle now. I know. Don't take the first offer. Vanessa looked at her. I wasn't planning to. Her mother's hand touched her shoulder once, lightly, then dropped. They went back inside. When court resumed, Richard's attorney stood immediately. Your Honor, in light of the new information, my client would like to propose a settlement. Judge Brennan's expression didn't change. Go ahead. Mr. Hale is willing to offer Mrs. Hale the marital home, half of all disclosed accounts, and 50-50 custody with no supervision required. Vanessa's mother leaned close. Ask for the account, she whispered. Vanessa stood. Your Honor, I'd like the hidden account included in the division, and I'd like primary custody, with Mr. Hale receiving standard visitation. Richard's attorney's jaw tightened. Your Honor, that's unreasonable. Is it? Judge Brennan looked at Richard. Mr. Hale, you concealed a significant asset. That doesn't reflect well on your credibility or your good faith in these proceedings. Richard's face flushed. The judge looked at the attorney. Revise your offer. The attorney leaned toward Richard. They spoke quietly. Richard's shoulders slumped. Finally, the attorney stood. Mr. Hale agrees to the division of the account, and to Mrs. Hale having primary custody, with him receiving every other weekend and alternating holidays. Vanessa's chest loosened. Judge Brennan made a note. Mrs. Hale, do you accept? Yes, Your Honor. Then I'll draft the order. You'll both receive copies within the week. He looked at Richard. Mr. Hale, I'm also ordering you to submit a full financial disclosure within 30 days. If any additional accounts are discovered, this matter will be reopened and sanctions may apply. Richard nodded stiffly. We're adjourned. The gavel came down. Vanessa stayed seated while Richard and his attorney gathered their papers. Richard didn't look at her. He left through the side door, his attorney following. Vanessa's mother closed the folder and slid it toward her. You did good. Vanessa's hands were still shaking. She folded them in her lap. I didn't think he'd actually hide money, she said quietly. Her mother's expression stayed even. He thought you wouldn't look. That's different than thinking you couldn't. Vanessa picked up the folder. It felt lighter now. They walked out together. The hallway was empty except for the clerk, who nodded as they passed. Outside, the air was cold. Vanessa pulled her coat tighter. Her mother stopped beside her car. You need anything? Vanessa shook her head. I'm okay. Her mother studied her for a moment. Then she unlocked the car. Call me tonight. I will. Her mother got in, started the engine, and pulled out of the lot. Vanessa stood there for a moment, watching the road. Then she walked to her own car, got in, and set the folder on the passenger seat. She started the engine. Her phone buzzed. A text from Emma's school, reminder about the parent-teacher conference tomorrow. Vanessa typed back, I'll be there. She pulled out of the lot and headed home. That night, Emma was already asleep when Vanessa got home. The babysitter, Richard's sister, who'd stayed neutral through everything, left quietly after a brief update. Vanessa checked on Emma. She was curled under her blankets, her stuffed rabbit tucked against her chest. Vanessa pulled the door almost closed and went to the kitchen. She poured a glass of water, drank half of it, set it down. The house was quiet. She pulled out her phone and called her mother. Hey, her mother answered. Hey, how are you feeling? Vanessa leaned against the counter. Tired. Relieved. I don't know. That's normal. Vanessa exhaled. I keep thinking about how he looked when the judge brought up the account, like he couldn't believe I'd actually found it. He underestimated you. He did. Her mother was quiet for a moment. You know you're going to be okay, right? Vanessa's throat tightened. Yeah, I know. Good. Get some sleep. I will. Thanks, Mom. Anytime. The call ended. Vanessa set the phone down. She finished the water, rinsed the glass, and turned off the kitchen light. Upstairs, she changed into pajamas and got into bed. The sheets felt cool. The room was dark. She closed her eyes. Sleep didn't come right away. But eventually, it did. The next morning, Vanessa woke to her alarm. She turned it off, sat up, and stretched. Emma was already awake, sitting at the kitchen table with cereal. Morning, Vanessa said. Morning. Emma looked up. Is Dad coming this weekend? Vanessa poured herself coffee. Yeah, he'll pick you up Saturday morning. Emma nodded and went back to her cereal. Vanessa sat across from her. How are you feeling about that? Emma shrugged. It's okay. I like being here. Vanessa's chest tightened. You'll always have a home here, sweetheart. No matter what. Emma smiled. Small but real. They finished breakfast in comfortable silence. A week later, the official divorce decree arrived in the mail. Vanessa opened it at the kitchen table, read through the terms. Everything was as agreed. The house, the accounts, custody. She set it aside. Emma came in from the living room. What's that? Just paperwork. Emma looked at it, then at Vanessa. Does that mean it's done? Yeah, it's done. Emma nodded slowly. Okay. Vanessa folded the papers and put them in a drawer. Want to watch a movie? She asked. Emma brightened. Can we watch the one with the dragons? Sure. They settled on the couch. Vanessa pulled a blanket over them both. The movie started. Emma leaned against her, and Vanessa rested her hand on her daughter's shoulder. Outside, the afternoon light stretched across the yard. The trees swayed slightly in the breeze. Inside, everything was still. 2 months later, Vanessa was sitting at her desk at work when her phone buzzed. A text from Richard. Can I pick Emma up early this Saturday? I have something planned. She typed back. What time? 9 instead of 10? That's fine. Thanks. She set the phone down. Her co-worker, Jordan, glanced over. Everything okay? Yeah, just coordinating with Richard. Jordan nodded. How's that going? Better. We're civil now. That's good. Vanessa returned to her screen. The marketing report she'd been drafting was almost done. She finished the last paragraph, proofread it, and sent it off. Her boss, Andrea, replied 10 minutes later, "Looks great, thanks." Vanessa leaned back in her chair. Her phone buzzed again. This time it was her mother. "Dinner this weekend?" Vanessa smiled. "Sure, Saturday night. Perfect. I'll cook. See you then." That Saturday, Richard picked Emma up at 9 as planned. He was polite, asked how Vanessa was doing, and didn't linger. Emma hugged Vanessa before leaving. "See you tomorrow, Mom." "See you tomorrow, sweetheart." The door closed behind them. Vanessa spent the afternoon cleaning, running errands, and catching up on laundry. By evening, she was pulling into her mother's driveway. Her mother opened the door before Vanessa knocked. "Hey, come in." The house smelled like roasted chicken and garlic. "Smells amazing," Vanessa said. "It's almost ready." "Want wine?" "Yes." "Please." They sat at the kitchen table while the chicken finished. Her mother poured 2 glasses of red. "How's work?" her mother asked. "Good. Busy. Andrea's talking about promoting me to full-time." Her mother's eyebrows lifted. "That's great." "Yeah, I'm thinking about taking it." "You should." Vanessa sipped her wine. "I think I will." Her mother smiled. "Good." They talked through dinner, about work, about Emma, about her mother's upcoming trip to visit Vanessa's brother in Oregon. It was easy, comfortable. Afterward, Vanessa helped with the dishes. "You didn't have to do that," her mother said. "I wanted to." Her mother dried her hands on a towel. "You know, you've handled all of this really well." Vanessa paused. "I had help." Her mother's expression softened. "You did the hard part." Vanessa didn't know what to say to that. So she just nodded. They finished the dishes in silence. Before Vanessa left, her mother walked her to the door. "Drive safe," she said. "I will. Thanks for dinner." "Any time." Vanessa got in her car and drove home. 3 months after the divorce was finalized, Vanessa got the promotion. Andrea called her into the office on a Tuesday afternoon. "I'm making it official," Andrea said. "Full-time, benefits, the works. You've earned it." Vanessa felt her chest expand. "Thank you." "You start next Monday. We'll adjust your schedule so you can still handle school stuff for Emma." Vanessa nodded. "I appreciate that." Andrea smiled. "You're good at what you do, Vanessa. Don't forget that." That night, Vanessa told Emma over dinner. "I got promoted," she said. Emma's face lit up. "Really?" "Really." "That's awesome, Mom." Vanessa smiled. "Thanks, sweetheart." They clinked their water glasses together. Later, after Emma was in bed, Vanessa sat on the couch with a cup of tea. The house was quiet, peaceful. She pulled out her phone and texted her mother. "I got the promotion." Her mother replied immediately. "I'm proud of you." Vanessa set the phone down. She sipped her tea and looked around the living room. The furniture was the same. The photos on the wall were the same. But something felt different. Lighter. She finished her tea, rinsed the cup, and turned off the lights. Upstairs, she checked on Emma one more time. Still asleep. Vanessa went to her own room, got into bed, and turned off the lamp. The room was dark. She closed her eyes, and for the first time in a long time, she fell asleep easily. 6 months later. Vanessa was at Emma's soccer game when she saw Richard across the field. He was standing with a woman she didn't recognize. They were talking, laughing. The woman's hand rested on his arm. Vanessa felt nothing. No anger, no jealousy, just nothing. Emma scored a goal and Vanessa cheered. After the game, Emma ran over, sweaty and grinning. "Did you see that, Mom?" "I did. You were amazing." Emma hugged her. Richard walked over. "Hey, Emma, great game." "Thanks, Dad." He glanced at Vanessa. "She's getting good." "She is." They stood there for a moment. Then Richard nodded. "See you next weekend, Em." "Bye, Dad." He walked back to the woman. They left together. Vanessa and Emma walked to the car. "Who was that with Dad?" Emma asked. "I don't know. Maybe someone from work." Emma shrugged. "Okay." They drove home. A year after the divorce, Vanessa was sitting in her office when her phone rang. It was her mother. "Hey," Vanessa answered. "Hey, you busy?" "Just finishing up some work. What's up?" "I'm in town. Want to grab lunch?" Vanessa checked the time. "Yeah, I can do that. Where?" "That cafe on 4th? "Perfect. See you in 20. Vanessa saved her work, grabbed her coat, and headed out. The cafe was warm and busy. Her mother was already at a table near the window. Vanessa sat down. Hey, how's your day?" "Good. Busy. Yours?" "Same." They ordered sandwiches and coffee. While they waited, Vanessa's mother looked at her. "You look good." Vanessa smiled. "Thanks. I feel good." Her mother nodded. "You should." The food arrived. They ate and talked about small things: Emma's upcoming school trip, Vanessa's latest project at work, her mother's book club. It was ordinary, and that felt right. 2 years after the divorce, Vanessa was cleaning out the garage when she found a box of old photos. She opened it. Inside were pictures from her wedding. Her and Richard, smiling, young. She looked at them for a moment. Then she closed the box and set it aside. Emma appeared in the doorway. "What's that?" "Just old photos." Emma walked over. "Can I see?" Vanessa hesitated, then handed her the box. Emma looked through them. "You looked happy." "We were, for a while." Emma set the photos down. "Are you happy now?" Vanessa met her daughter's eyes. "Yeah, I am." Emma smiled. "Good." They finished cleaning the garage together. Later, Vanessa donated the box to a charity shop. She didn't need it anymore. 3 years after the divorce, Vanessa was sitting in her backyard on a Saturday afternoon. Emma was at a friend's house. The yard was quiet. Vanessa had a book in her lap, but she wasn't reading it. She was just sitting, breathing. The sun was warm. The grass smelled fresh. A bird chirped somewhere in the trees. Her phone buzzed. A text from Andrea. "Great work on the campaign. Client loved it." Vanessa smiled. "Thanks. Glad it worked out." She set the phone down. The book stayed closed. She leaned back in the chair and closed her eyes. The world felt still. Peaceful. She stayed there for a long time. 4 years after the divorce, Vanessa stood in the kitchen preparing dinner. Emma was at the table doing homework. "Mom, can you help me with this math problem?" Emma asked. Vanessa wiped her hands on a towel. "Sure." She sat beside Emma and looked at the problem. Together, they worked through it. When Emma understood, she smiled. "Thanks, Mom." "Anytime?" Vanessa returned to the stove. Dinner was almost ready. Outside, the sun was setting. The kitchen was warm, and everything, for the first time in a long time, felt exactly as it should be. Vanessa stirred the pot one last time, then turned off the heat. "Dinner's ready," she said. Emma closed her textbook and came to the table. They sat together, and they ate. If this story reminded you that strength isn't always loud, that sometimes it's showing up, searching when others assume you won't, and refusing to be underestimated, then this channel needs your support. Subscribe so you never miss a story about people who found their power when the room went quiet. Like this video if you've ever been doubted, dismissed, or laughed at, and proved them all wrong. Comment below, have you ever had a moment where someone underestimated you and you quietly turned the tables? What happened? Share your story. Let's remind each other that resilience doesn't need permission. And justice doesn't always come with a law degree. Your engagement keeps these stories alive. Let's build a community that celebrates the wins we earn in silence and the courage it takes to keep moving forward.